Welcome everybody to a broadcast of the Rampage Duel League finals. It appears that I'm having some technical difficulties with OBS. To kick it all off, I am Xenaero, and joining me today is veteran dueler RoSK1ng, and we're bringing you the Rookie Division Finals, a matchup between VoZj and DRON. Thank you for joining me, Ross.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Zen.
Excuse me while I get this sorted out on OBS. Not a great start to the broadcast, but we'll get the brackets up on the screen here in a second. Let's talk about the announcement we saw during the countdown. What is happening is we're running kind of almost a charity event where during the month of July, any subscriptions, donations, or anything like that will be going towards the Rampage server fund. They do host servers for the community, and this broadcast is by the community for the community, so it's really fun to contribute back, and we appreciate everybody so far with that. Now, before, when we talk about the finals, what does that mean for our competitors? Let's see if I can get the rules up on the screen here. Alright, there we go. Terrible, bad OBS, but that's okay. We're here to show the rules of the competition. So it will be a best of 5 round duel. Higher ping and lower ping alternate maps between home fields. VoZj's home field of Mu2D and DRON1's home field of King1. If it does go to round 5, the tiebreaker will be on Eon DM map 5. Rounds themselves are to 15 minutes or 50 frags, whichever happens first, and the round counter for the match. So if the player is up by 1 or 2, you'll see that in the upper right. The winner will be the Rookie Division Champion, or what I like to say is I like to call him Rookie of the Year. Anything to add to the match coming up, RoSK1ng?
So, I think between these two players, I think I'm favoring DRON over VoZj simply because I think that DRON has had a tougher schedule during the season, and it seems like he's yielded better results overall. I think that honestly it will be a close match either way. I'm not sure really who has the advantage. That's just something that I'm picking based off of, just what I saw through numbers of the season. I didn't really get the chance to watch either the playstyles. I know that DRON has mentioned something of hating map 7, but today he won't have, the unfortunate pleasure of playing that. So I think that both of these maps, King1 I think offers a little bit more of a strategic play style than Mu does. Not to say that Mu doesn't have its own strategic play style, but I think Mu is like a little bit more straightforward than King1. I think King1 just offers a little bit more variety, or in the way that you can strategically place yourself, as well as movement opportunities. So, and I think that's DRON's home field, and I don't know, I think it's going to favor DRON, but honestly, it's a question even in my head, like, who's actually going to win today?
Yeah, these competitors have played pretty hard in their games so far in the rookie bracket, and when we talk about the bracket, we're looking at something like this, where you will see now on your screen how the rookie division has shaped up, with VoZj taking his round 1 match over Widower 2-1, and then moving on from a unfortunate forfeit to the finals, while DRON had another game to his name. After beating Xenaero on round 1, he then faced Xenaero in the semifinals, and those particular matches were pretty fun to watch. When we're talking about, we covered it in our Rampage recap series. For round 1, VoZj and Widower did face off, where VoZj won his home field of Mu2D pretty handily, 50-34. And then after Widower took his home field map, VoZj did win 50-38 on Styx, which is a map I would compare pretty heavily to Mu2D. Unfortunately, in his semifinals match, that was a forfeit due to his opponent being a no-show. We hate to see that, so we won't really cover too much about the circumstances regarding that. VoZj did move on to the finals. On the other side of the bracket, DRON took Xenaero 2-0 in his first match in week 1, and he won against Xenaero's home field on Boo 50-26, which is a pretty technical map, and then 50-22 on King1. His second match, the semifinals match between DRON12261 and Xenaero, was in fact a best of 5. The rookie division semifinals were going to be best of 5 matches, and the one we saw showed Drawn in full control in his semifinals match. He won 50-41 on his match at King 1, 50-37 on D5M1, and then 50-43 back on his home field of King 1, showing his competency as a King 1 player. Now, when we're talking about the rookie division that we covered, Ross, do you have any input on the matches that we saw so far this season?
I was initially just going to give props to Xenaero for stepping in for, I think his name is Fabian. I don't exactly remember his full name, but thank you for stepping in and filling that hole. But as far as Dron's match with Xenaero, I think that was probably the highlight of the rookie division thus far, and that's why I think that I give Dron the advantage against VoZj. Not to say that he didn't have, a good match against Widower. I just think that, when comparing Xenaero and Widower, I think I would put Xenaero over Widower. So I think that Dron has had a match where he's really had to push himself to earn that victory, whereas, VoZj, I feel like he's had like a little bit of an easier time, but at the same time, even his match with Widower was, a bit close. So, but either way, I think that these two competitors are going to be almost on equal footing today. So best of luck to both of them.
Absolutely. Well said. And we'll see about getting into this match here. Let's see. Let me open up Doom Explorer here, which so politely likes to make noise. And it looks like I'm seeing a couple players in the duel server, so we'll get in there real fast. Thank you to everybody for taking time out of your day to join us in the live broadcast. If you missed any part of it, it will be up on the YouTube along with the rest of the Rampage recap series. See if we can get in here. Start to hear sounds of Doom guys going at it. And it should capture.
2 frags left.
There we go. So right now, Drawn is practicing, and we'll catch a little bit of that.
Frag left.
And that is Dante taking a win. Dante is actually participating in the pro division of this tournament. And so we're just waiting for, I believe, I'm not sure if VoZj is around for his match. We're scheduled to begin in a couple minutes. It looks like Drawn is warming up. So again, Mutu D is definitely a map that we will see. It's guaranteed, no matter how the outcome of the first couple games go. And this map, I would probably consider it to be more of a slugfest map.
Alright, I was just trying to get people into the server.
Oh yeah, no problem. For the time being, we're watching a warm-up match. And again, this is the rookie division, so it's, these players are fairly new to Doom competition, or not as experienced, rather, in a duel format. So it is fun to see players practicing, players getting ready and warmed up for their finals match.
By the way, shout out to the Russian community, LegacyZ. They've been awesome throughout this whole series. They've all been very adamant about finishing their matches. It's been really, they gave us like a lot of numbers that really helped fill in the gaps for the entire season. It's been really awesome to see, people come in that we've never seen before and really just, want to learn and grow as players. So it was really awesome to see something like that. And we promote, or we encourage other people from anybody, like any skill level, just to come in and try, because if we get the numbers, we will accommodate for lower tiers or lower skill gaps, and we will try to help or do our best to try to help fill the gap for people to get to our level.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is a great thing that this Duel League has done. I haven't seen in a long time to separate players by skill level, which has allowed a lot of players to flourish in really their own way based on experience. So we have rookie, intermediate, and pro divisions. And it's been very fun to see players have a lot of close matches between themselves, where otherwise they might have been filtered out early in very lopsided matches. So props to the Rampage community for running a very inclusive event.
Thank you, Zen, and thank you for everybody that's also donated to help our funds. I really appreciate you running that for us, Zen.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a community event, and it's very fun. We all do this for fun, but we love competing. So it's very cool to see players still playing at a high level, still eager to win, still setting time aside in their weekend. And looks like we're about to get ready to go. I'm not sure who... Looks like Drawn might have the higher ping, so we'll be looking at King 1 to kick off round 1 of the rookie finals.
I wonder if that's going to end up playing influential factor into in today's results. You know, having that, it's only 40 ping, but I mean, when you're in the hundreds, you know, that can definitely play a factor into how well you can connect shots. And it might even be on the opposite side where it might even be harder to hit them. So we'll just have to see.
And they're off. So the warm-up countdown has expired, and the beginning of round 1 is here. You will see a rank and spread in the lower left of your screen, as well as the round count in the upper right of your screen. If you're just joining us, we're kicking off round 1 of the rookie finals on Drawn's home field, King 1. He's establishing pretty good control of mid so far, but he just lost it to VoZj, who is now spawn fragging him in return.
VoZj has a really great start right now. Actually, Drawn rebuttals, and we're seeing kind of a little back and forth right now between the two. Just constant back and forth spawn killing.
This is kind of what I love about rookie matches, is that they are not a spawn kill is not guaranteed with a lot of these players. So they're going to be playing, and on top of that, these players are playing from across the world. So there is a bit of a delay, adding a bit of a wild card to how they're playing. We're switching over to VoZj as he takes a thin lead of 2 frags.
Thin lead, but it honestly seems like I was actually surprised with some of the rockets that Drawn had there. Seems like he's demonstrating some level of almost, like, I wouldn't say expertise play, but definitely some level of confidence with his rockets. We're starting to get an equal stabilization between the two. I don't really... We just have to really wait and see who's going to end up pulling out that lead.
And it is a question of stamina as well. We're looking at the minimum of 3 rounds of 50 frags each, or 15 minutes, whichever happens first. So you either have to get 150 frags or 45 minutes minimum, which is a pretty tall order, especially for unseasoned players that we might see in the rookie bracket. And for those astute viewers, you might have seen a message at the bottom that says your client missed a couple packets. That is very common with players who are playing from overseas. Rampage server clusters hosted in North America, but these players are both playing from Russia, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So pretty awesome of them to schedule their game as well for us in America to be able to cast their match and give them a bit of a showcase. And I mean, the current spread is only 3 frags now. It shows how quick Doom Duel can move. 16-13 in the first round, 17-13. Drawn establishing a bit of control over the middle of King, and a little bit of BFG work from VoZj lets him get a follow-up spawn frag, 2 follow-up spawn frags, and eliminate that spread, and maybe a third.
Yeah, both players keep getting their own lead here. VoZj just had it, now Drawn's back in control. VoZj almost took his own lead just a few seconds ago. And it seems like everybody's just kind of getting like a few little sprees here and there. Nobody really pulling off the lead though. And you have to wonder, kind of like what you said earlier with the stamina thing. It's like, do you think that once the lead becomes so prominent for one player that the other player kind of gives up mentally, especially given that is the rookie division?
And very apt BFG spawn play from DRON there, who opted to sit there and use the BFG cone that occurs when the BFG ball detonates. For those who may be unfamiliar with how the BFG 9000 works in Doom, based on the direction the BFG ball travels, a cone of damage will project out from the player's current position. Allows for a bit of tricky work around corners with a player who's experienced in the mechanic.
It's like DRON pulling up ahead again, but VoZj easily applies pressure back into control.
Currently
Trying to keep
25
him away
to
from that
24.
shotgun.
About halfway there, and it really is anybody's game in the opening map.
This is what you love to see, you know? It being this competitive, like it's not really going either way. It's this close neck and neck.
It's razor thin. In a game of Doom Duel, I would put anything under 10 frags to beat anyone's game due to how quickly it can turn around based on a couple unlucky spawns, or even one misstep from a player can cause a deficit of 5 or more.
Oh, for sure. We've seen it time and again where, you know, I've had matches where I'm up plus 15 and, you know, that gap all of a sudden just almost loses my grasp. Like, it can really turn around just like that. Spawn kills can be very unforgiving in this game.
It is important for DRON to take his home field match because the next round is going to be Mu2D, which is much more close quarters. It still is a bit of a heavy frag map, kind of like King 1, but there's much less space to get away from your opponent on Mu2D, the map coming up, which is VoZj's home field and a map that he's played pretty well so far in the rookie division.
You have to wonder if DRON picked this home field, given that there is a lot more space that you can get, and given his ping, it kind of gives him like he's not really having to force himself into close quarters engagements. You know, when you go to Mu2D, I wonder how his ping and trying to outreact VoZj is going to play a part, or how what's going to happen in that scenario.
Oh, and VoZj getting a couple unlucky spawns right in front of the BFG drop. And now he's looking at a deficit of 10 frags. His opponent, DRON, is now at 41 frags with a plus 10 spread, 9 now, and it just shows again how quickly the spawns can turn against you.
Nice BFD dodge there by VoZj, but DRON ends up getting the kill. Honestly, it's getting pretty close to the end, but I mean, like you said earlier, and like we've been saying, is that spawn kills could easily turn this back into VoZj's favor, which it looks like he's getting a little bit of a spree here. But DRON getting a little spree of his own. Honestly, I think it's getting to the point where we can call a winner, but I mean, it still can happen at this point.
Yeah, that rocket spawn is pretty nasty to get. You have very little chance of outpacing an opponent who is set up in the middle. You do get that. He is up. DRON is up by 9 with 3 frags left in the first round.
It is a bit tricky, but it's not impossible. I think the best thing you can do in that situation is just trying to rush out of that spawn, but it looks like 2 frags away from DRON. VoZj low on health. Yup, I think that's going to seal the deal right there.
And that will be round 1 going to DRON. So that's King 1. That is your introduction to DRON's home field of King 1. In the rookie finals, we'll be going towards Mu2D, which we saw during the warm-up. DRON was actually practicing that. So it's going to be interesting. Is VoZj rattled by a round loss? Momentum is in DRON's favor as we go to VoZj's home field of Mu2D.
I would say momentum is in DRON's favor, but you'd have to think that VoZj has, you know, probably accepted the idea that given that it's the first game on Ron's advantage, that, you know, he's probably going to be at a bit of a disadvantage, and that this is what he needs. He needs to establish dominance here to really put the momentum back into his favor. So I think this is his moment, his time that he needs to be able to, you know, rise to the occasion and try to bring it back into his favor.
Absolutely, and in the opening seconds of Mu2D, VoZj is playing down by a frag or 2. DRON is not letting up on the aggression in any way, which is something you absolutely have to do on a tight map like SSL2 or Mu2D. And VoZj is just getting spawn fragged at the moment. He keeps getting that,
Wow.
that bottom staircase spawn. It's a tough one to play from because you do face away from a player who's typically playing on the bottom floor.
Super unfortunate for VoZj that he ended up spawning there about 4 or 5 times, but looks like he's getting a little spree of his own going on.
Only a spread of 5 frags now. It's not too much, but it is. Doom is a mental game as it is a mechanical game. You can't let going down early in your home field affect you too harshly, or you're going to have trouble reestablishing control.
Looks like DRON temporarily for the time being has control, but VoZj getting almost had that spawn kill there. He's trying to finally finishes the kill off, trying to look for DRON. DRON reestablishes control, it looks like. Easily dies. VoZj with the little... Ooh.
Great, he's narrowing down. He's now tied with DRON. And that's... So he was down by like 5 or 6 frags. And now he's back in the running. An even break between both players. And he's now taking the lead. That shows how important spawn control is, how important to practice your aim is, and movement to get away from those spawns. These rookies are learning the trade as they continue to play through the rookie division.
Yeah, it looks like both of them are trying to adapt as best as they can. VoZj, you know, he was just down. All of a sudden, you know, he's on the other end. Looks like he's starting to maybe instill a little bit of a confidence into him, and it looks like he's starting to feel like a little bit, you know, starting to feel himself a little bit. So, it looks like he's playing a lot more consistent right now than he was previously.
He's showing why he picked Mu2D as his home field. Coming back from a deficit and still fighting back from some spawns. A missed shot from DRON allows VoZj to retaliate. And it's back and forth on the grass field of Mu2D.
I think it's safe to say, Zen, you know, earlier you said, you know, are his nerves shaken with that disadvantage? And I think it shows right now that his nerves aren't shaken and he's just trying to get confident or comfortable within his own home field. And I think that he is definitely getting, feeling it out and getting more comfortable as he goes.
Absolutely, and a bit of... We don't often see the BFG used on Mu2D due to how vulnerable it can make a player going for it. You're trapped in a corner, and the weapon switch does make you pretty vulnerable to a player who is already aware that you're going for the BFG. He wasn't able to get a frag with the few shots available to him. So it's back to super shotgun work between the two players. DRON playing the stairwell pretty well. And those dodges allow him to get a kill off of VoZj, but VoZj comes back from the corner to take over stairwell again. And you often see in Mu2D players taking up opposite ends of the map kind of like that, where there's a gap between them on either side. And it gives them a bit of breathing room, but allows them to pepper each other with the super shotgun and go in for the kill a little bit later on.
Yeah, typically what you'll see is usually like either a lot of spawn killing, people trying to establish different sides, dominance on different sides of the map, and usually there's an aggressor and a defender. I mean, that's just kind of how the game works. But it looks like VoZj starting to strengthen his lead here. I'm actually really surprised with how well he's doing and keep maintaining this lead, because he's had various spawns in front of DRON and he's managed to, again, strengthen his lead further and further.
We're going to switch the viewpoint over to DRON. He's now playing down by 5 frags. We're looking at 34 against 29. So there's still plenty of match left, and a gap of 4 or 5 frags is nothing on a map like this where spawns are so closely packed together.
Absolutely, and honestly it's maintaining the same frag spread, but I wouldn't expect it to be this way for long either. VoZj is probably going to get a stronger lead, or what we're seeing right now, DRON starting to slowly catch up with these spawns. You can only assume that it's I don't know, it's remaining neck and neck. Even in King it was this way, but DRON was able to get his own lead. You have to wonder if, you know, with given the spread of the last game and this one being so tight, is that going to play a mental factor into VoZj?
And now we're looking at a tie while VoZj did maintain momentum for most of the match. DRON is now winning it back with a great long-distance spawn frag one-shot. And he's playing, and VoZj is missing a couple critical spawn frags. While DRON's aim is on point, he may very well take the second round. He may take Mu2D away from VoZj.
Still anybody's game, but VoZj definitely needed those spawn frags. It would have helped him immensely, but still not over. It's still anybody's game. Only a 2-frag deficit. We've seen a lot more of a comeback than just this. And usually what people will do is when it really starts to get down to the nitty-gritty, people will start suiciding so that way they don't give their opponent the frag.
Yeah, it's a time-tested tactic that sometimes doesn't always pay off because if you do that, you have to chance spawning in front of your opponent. So it's not something we recommend, especially for the rookie division. These players are learning how exactly to aim, to pre-aim where, to set up and move around the map. It's VoZj is taking a 1-frag lead. 2-frag lead. Switch back over to VoZj as he gets a couple very key spawn frags. He's now up by 4, 1 frag left in the second round. VoZj could take his home field.
Wow. Just like that, immediately it was looking like it was about to be lights out for VoZj in this map, but honestly, yep, there it is. That's really surprising, and great job on VoZj to be able to pull that back into his favor. Honestly, it was looking pretty grim for him at that time, but managed to get like 3 or 4 spawn kills in a row.
This is what we love to see. We're now tied in the series 1-1 against VoZj and DRON in the rookie final, so we'll be going back to King 1, where DRON won that, but there was, I mean, these matches are all under 10 frags.
Yeah, I think it's honestly going to have to do a lot with spawn luck, spawn control, how well the players are able to adapt to the pressure of each other. You know, VoZj has definitely got to be feeling some type of way after, you know, coming out of that match with a win. But I don't know, it's going to be difficult because DRON definitely showed, you know, established more of a bit of dominance than VoZj did over him on his home field. So it's going to be interesting to see how VoZj tries to adapt given their first match.
An early spawn frag from DRON, being very careful not to move himself too much underneath that BFG spawn because it really does position the enemy to be easily killed.
Both players keeping it tight right now. DRON with the BFG.
Good
gets a
BFG
little
work
bit of
from
snipe.
DRON.
Unfortunate spawn.
Oh, he moves too far forward and doesn't get VoZj in his crosshairs for that cone of damage. But VoZj doesn't make the same mistake and takes over mid. DRON has to play a bit back with the rocket launcher, but that teleporter takes you up top to the top passage of King 1, where you get a super shotgun on the lift or a BFG. Typically, players don't go for the BFG because of the same reason it makes you vulnerable on Mu2D.
VoZj getting a little bit of his own spree, being able to keep DRON under control. DRON with a little nice rocket there coming out of the gate.
And catching VoZj as he comes back from the spawn he just played from. That's a great play from DRON and good aim. Because you don't have a great indication of exactly where the opponent's going to pop up, especially when they take that lift. So only a couple frags between the two players. It's still pretty early in round 3. 11-10 so far, narrowly in DRON's favor.
DRON doing a little bit of a delay spawn tactic.
Yeah, usually there's like a rhythm, sort of a cadence if players spawn reliably, where you can kind of mentally prepare yourself for someone to show up just right in front of you, and a delay can help disrupt that. The player may think for a second, deity spawn elsewhere, and take them away from a confident spawn control position. VoZj fighting back, and it's back down to only 1 spread between the two players, tied now. And it's going to be tough for DRON to get that kill, even though VoZj did miss the 1 shot. VoZj back in the lead, but only just so.
really surprising to see how VoZj ends up keep getting the lead back into his favor. Honestly, you know, given the first match, DRON kind of pulled away there for a second. I mean, it was earlier in the match. It was still pretty tight, but it's just surprising to see that VoZj keeps pulling it back into his favor.
Couple spawn frags here, a couple spawn frags there, and the lead now shifts to DRON. I mean, players are effectively tied. I wouldn't say anything from 1 to 3 spread is like anything meaningful, unless we're in the 40s. If there's only
Definitely
a few frags
not.
left, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, but keeping a lead over your opponent, I do think that has a little bit of a advantage and mentality.
Especially if the announcer's constantly telling you that you lost the lead.
I mean, they should be listening to the stream.
There's some good two-shot distance for VoZj there. The Super Shotgun can be a cruel mistress with its spread sometimes. We've seen some long-range one-shots as well, and VoZj showing off that range of the Super Shotgun with a couple quick spawn frags. Now it puts him 5 up, 6 up.
I've got to say, DRON just sitting there with the shotgun. I understand what he was trying to do, but VoZj was not lit enough for him to just sit there. He kind of gave VoZj that frag, and he's starting to get punished for it.
Movement is very key, especially against a shotgun-wielding player. Shotgun spread is pretty tight. Super Shotgun relies on pinpoint accuracy to get enough pellets on target. So movement for these players is going to be very critical, even though they're in the rookie division, but movement is even more important there because they haven't been playing Doom Duel like we have for like 20 years.
Yeah, given DRON's movement, honestly, it seems like he's in a bit of a rut, like mentally. I feel like I'm starting to see like a little bit of a lack of effort on his end, but you know, I think he's not down and out yet, but I think that he's definitely starting to definitely wear and tear on his nerves.
Do you think this might be a sign that stamina is running out for Mr. DRON?
I think we're starting to see early signs of it. I think that, you know, he's starting to stand around a lot more. I think that, you know, him getting spawn fragged, and I mean, VoZj is starting to take control of dominance here. I think that, you know, even when I was at an early stage of my career in Doom, you know, it was really hard for me to be able to bounce back and believe that I could still do it. And I don't think that DRON's out of it yet, but I think that, you know, it's starting to really get to him.
Yeah, being down by 8, which puts his opponent in the 40s, 41 to 35. It's still easy for, maybe not easy, but it's still within the realm of possibility for DRON to come back with a few lucky spawns and some well-placed shots. But that rocket spawn is not going to help him very much there. Puts him dead in VoZj's sights. Although VoZj just runs right into the rocket, catches some splash from another one, allowing for an easy follow-up shotgun kill. Another spawn, another one. Oh my goodness, DRON could be making a comeback here. But here are the spawns playing against DRON.
That's what we needed to see from DRON. More movement, more assertiveness, and you know, it's honestly, in my opinion, the best thing you can do to get these spawn kills is to assertively move yourself around the map. You know, when you keep your momentum, that kind of drags you on to the next potential location of where, and you're positioning yourself to be able to get that spawn kill faster, or just being in a better position to be able to handle it.
Oh, a little bit of a VoZj moved forward with the rocket launcher, but was unable to kill DRON. There it is, and that will be 50 to 43 in VoZj's favor as he takes DRON's home field to King 1. Retaliation from round 1 where VoZj lost that map, but we're going back to Mu2D for round 4.
So now the pressure goes on to DRON. You know, he won the first match, just lost his home field, but even Mu2D, you know, his match against VoZj and Mu2D was very back and forth, more so than their matches on King. So honestly, it seems like these matches on Mu2D are going to be a lot closer and tighter, just given the map. And Dron over here with a 3 frag start.
Dron's pissed. He took control of those spawns very quickly, and VoZj may have to play on the back foot for the time being. But I agree, Mu2D was pretty much the great equalizer between the two, and even King 1 was close until a certain point, and Dron was still fighting back at the end.
You know, I'm starting to think that we're starting to see a situation where VoZj is starting to get more comfortable playing on King because he wants to slow the pace down. Dron's pissed right now. He just wants to bring it to VoZj as much as he can.
Oh.
And honestly, I think he kind of like wants to play close quarters with him now.
That whiff from Dron on that corner staircase spawn was, oof, that's a rough one to miss. And VoZj turned around and blasted him. Now VoZj is up by 2. So momentum's shifting a little bit, but I mean, again, not by much. It's going to be really key to see these players, see if they try to slow the match down, if they start pulling their shots to get a little bit more accuracy. That's something you tend to see from players who are really trying to mentally focus instead of just bum rushing the opponent with the super shot.
Only a spread of actually 4 now, but unfortunate spawns for Dron right there. VoZj starting to really strengthen his lead right now.
And it is championship point for VoZj, who is up 2-1 in this best of 5 series. So he's looking pretty strong on his home field of Mu2D with a spread of 7, as you can see in the lower left corner.
VoZj really starting to make a strengthening lead right now, so Dron needs to react to something. He needs to do something, and I know, you know, looks like he's trying to play a little bit more methodically, just standing still, but honestly, I think given the circumstances, he needs to start trying to bring the heat to VoZj.
Yeah, it definitely needs to channel a lot more of that one-shot energy that we saw earlier on in the very opening seconds of the match. But VoZj is playing smart. He's playing by that staircase, gives him a little bit of hard cover with that low ceiling. And part of the strategy is honestly to bring your opponent low and see if you can get a quick spawn frag off him, which Dron actually retaliates from that spawn, but VoZj follows up with a couple good spawn frags, and now Dron is playing with a deficit of 10 as we watch him in round 4.
VoZj definitely starting to play a lot stronger. I think he's just getting more and more confident as the series goes out. Like I said earlier, I think Dron really needs to start trying to kick up his aggression or just do something different, because what he's doing right now just isn't working. He's just getting overrun.
A couple good spawn frags there, so it always could be the start of a big run, but playing as the gap widens, looking at a spread of 12 between the two players.
You know, go for BFG, try to play different corners, try to do something different. And honestly, it seems like VoZj kind of has his number. Like, he knows exactly, he just cut him off right there. Like, he knows exactly, Dron is becoming too predictable at this point.
VoZj is now, you can tell the change of confidence in VoZj's playstyle. He knows he has some lead to burn if a push doesn't work out, but by and large, his aggression is working.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, at this point, it's almost looking like a sealed deal. Not to say that Dron can't do it, but it's
a rough
VoZj is just on fire right now.
This is the largest lead we've seen between the two players so far in this series. Usually it's been 10 or less throughout all 3 rounds we've seen before. But right now, VoZj is playing up 15 as he approaches the 40 frag mark. That's kind of like your warning sign. With only 10 frags left to go, once you hit 40, it's do or die for Dron at this point.
Especially given the fact that it's game point. I mean, he needs to do something. Like, he needs to figure out something. But honestly, given the fact that it's game point, given the fact that it's almost a 20 frag deficit about to be, I just don't think that there's anything Dron can do at this point unless he just goes out of his mind.
We're following VoZj as he takes a spread of 20, 5 frags left in the 4th and quite possibly final round of the rookie finals, and DRON tries to pistol him. I'm not sure if that's out of protest or what.
Frags left.
Essentially just a bad weapon switch there.
Frag left.
And 1 frag left. Now 0. We will be seeing VoZj as your rookie division champion in the Rampage Duel League.
You know, that went against my my guess, but I mean, I don't know. Like VoZj, both players played substantially well. I think just, you know, given the fact that DRON probably lost in his last home field and lost at Mu2D, honestly, it seemed like VoZj was getting favored. And then on top of that, I think VoZj was just overall building momentum, especially in that last match. He just felt, like you said, he was just oozing confidence. Just
And again, that was a best of 5 series. So that's, you know, we saw a couple matches on each other's home field. We did not get to see the tiebreaker match of Eon DM1 map 5, but that is going to be that's going to be it for the Duel League rookie finals. VoZj takes it in a 3-1 series. So we will be saying goodbye to DRON, although he played remarkably well and kept a lot of those games very, very close. And I want to welcome Dante to the stream for some post game chatter. First of all, Dante, thank you for I want to say transcribing, converting, recording, whatever term you want to call it, putting your demos recording up on your YouTube for some full match coverage, which people in the chat will see there. There's a link to the playlist. But also thank you for your being kind of like our emissary to the Russian region of Doom.
Well, what's up? It's my first time when I speaking with you, and it's the first time when I going on your stream. And thank you for those streaming. It's really interesting stuff, and those podcasts on the every week, which we can hear listening. Well, it was a really close game, and the second map was really extremely close. It's amazing, and I'm really glad. Really. So.
Yeah, we saw a pretty close match for the most part. I mean, we see 3-1 on the screen, but those of us who were here watching the matches know that it was splitting hairs throughout the game. Now, what, in your opinion, was this the outcome you expected?
No. And what about Nico?
We're also being joined by Nico, who is also a contender.
I'm just additional assistant to Dante, as you know, we discussed it yesterday. I know that Dante is well aware of the English language, but let's be honest, sometimes his accent can be very rough, and I'm gonna support this guy. So, hello everybody, hello Zen, thank you guys for rooting for our LegacyZ team. I want to add some details that DRON and VoZj was playing a long time before this kind of Rampage Duel event, as you know. For our local LAN parties in St. Petersburg, and some players we were playing for like our online matches around, you know, LegacyZ tournaments, like a Noob League, something like that. Dante is aware of this since he was a, organizer of this kind of thing. So yeah, these guys actually had some experience, but not how I can say, not field tested as well, you know, internationally. As you know, guys, you are perfect like players, you know Doom like 2 fingers and 2 steps and all this, all that. And they're just rookies, you know. Sometimes you see the potential of these guys, but you can't get enough. You have to train and you have to play, you have to meet other people and just learn your skill, your tactics to, become something better. So it was a good game actually. So if you don't mind, because I was like a mentor to VoZj. One time when we were first games with himself, he wasn't that enough good. Really, not that enough. But after time, after a few matches, he grew some skill, and Rampage even boosted him a lot better than before. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised. Actually, I'm surprised that VoZj still managed to beat Dron, because Dron still plays some good matches, as you've seen. In the beginning. But yeah, the stamina and all the stress when everybody is looking for ya, rooting for ya, and you couldn't beat this guy. Come on, you can do it. All this, it makes you nervous actually. When you're playing like a simple regular game, you don't have any kind of, I don't know, well, the feeling behind your back. So that's this.
Yeah, it was a tough match. Drawn played well, and that was the voice of Nico, who is also playing in our intermediate division. So it was great to hear from both Dante and Nico regarding the newcomers, relative newcomers to at least the competitive side of Doom, which is typically mostly North American or European players. We rarely do see people from further east in Europe, seeing Russian players sign up for various divisions, including but not limited to Dante in the Pro Division, Nico in the Intermediate Division, and then VoZj and Drawn in the Rookie Division. So it's great to hear from people who are joining in to what is traditionally mostly a North American competitive realm and playing well, putting in the time, the practice, and the matches, and everybody has been fantastic in terms of scheduling. I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. Ross, do you have any parting words?
Well, I just wanted to again thank the LegacyZ community. I know that you guys have been playing with each other for a relatively long time, but it was nice to see other people outside of our, usually we have an expected set of players for the community, and it was really awesome to see other players that we've never seen come into our side of the community step into. And I think that we would love to have you for future events, and you all did phenomenally well. You guys were all phenomenal to work with. Like, we didn't, you guys were probably some of the more responsible players that we've had to deal with, and we really appreciate everything that you guys brought into the community, because it just helped make it that much better for everybody. So again, thank you guys.
Well, you too. And
Yeah.
the main object of our community, that's I just want to show the people what the Doom competitive is. And I just showing the duel, the team deathmatch, and sometimes capture the flag. Well, we've got new players, so finally.
Well,
Drone
just add a few additional details to this one. So it's always great actually to see other people from other communities and sometimes integrate each other and play the games, share our experience with you guys. It's actually a pleasure to be here. Really, since let's just be honest, Doom is not like it was before, like 10 years ago. It's not that active anymore. All this, Russia, USA, Sweden, everybody just switched their activities to small communities, and we don't actually make some, together events. We don't meet each other anymore, and I hope it's a great opportunity to make a showcase of there's some people actually rooting for like some events like this, and thank you very much for allowing us to play such a kind of thing. It's fun. So yeah,
Absolutely, and it's very fun to broadcast the games. We're trying to get VoZj actually in the voice channel. I think he's joined another channel. Ross, could you introduce him?
Yep, I can. Just give me 1 second, please.
So we'll get in. Joining us now is VoZj, who is our Rookie Division champion. First of all, congratulations. Well played. 3-1 in your introductory Rampage Duel League championship. How do you feel about that win? What kind of troubles was Drawn giving you?
English words, do you speak it?
Of course. Hello. To begin with, thank you for congratulations. I'm really happy to win this match. I'm really happy to become the champion of Rookie League, the best of the best from noobs. first map was really disgusting for me.
I think no.
My hands was shaking like I
Like
don't
Yam-
know.
like Yamama song by Fatboy Slim.
My hands was really shaking, and I couldn't shoot and run. I missed every second shot, and I literally lost this map because of these misses. I don't think Drone outplayed me with tactics. I think I just shoot worse than him. What about second map? I think it was tipping point. It was the tipping point of our match. I started very, very bad. I had something about -8 for frags, and I couldn't shoot him. I missed more and more.
You were able to bring it back, and in the second match, you did change the momentum.
I was
You tied it up.
nervous, really nervous, and then I calmed down myself, and then I chased him and backed it up. Yeah, and then third and fourth map, it was straight down to my win. I was really calm for third and fourth map.
Yeah, your confidence really showed in the final map where you had, for the first time, a spread over 10, pretty reliably up to the point where you were 20 frags over your opponent. So your confidence started to show, your mental state started to solidify, and you then from that point on, you are now the rookie division champion. If another league happens, do you think you'll sign up for intermediate?
Yes, I think my buddies told me it already. Nico said me that I need to sign up for intermediate division next time because I'm becoming more and more good. I became to play duel only in the end of previous year, in the December 2022. It was my first tournament
Nice.
from LegacyZ. Nubas Duel Championship.
Well, I
Yeah.
think nobody knows, but VoZj and Igara are brothers.
Yeah, we're
And
brothers.
they started to play.
Just like in Mortal Kombat in tournaments, as you can
Ah!
be aware, there's some two like brothers like from I don't know Chile. Nobody ever knew about his brothers, but they just like kicked the ass of every pro players and then became like the masters of the Mortal Kombat. And I hope so that VoZj and Igara will become not like pros, but at least intermediate champions one day or another.
We may very well
And-
see that in the future, but for now, we're going to say goodbye to everybody who has joined us today. Thank you, Dante, Nico, and VoZj. Congratulations to VoZj on your rookie division championship. Ross, do you have any parting words as we're going to play people out?
One last thing, thank you again to LegacyZ, and we are planning a team deathmatch tournament at the end of the year. We'll probably do it segregated into tiers again, depending on the overall reception. I would love to see all of you guys there, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you Zen for doing everything that you've had for this. I don't think this event would be nearly as successful without your help.
No
Thank
problem.
you too, guys, for all of what are you doing.
Yeah,
That's
thank
great.
you.
See you next time,
And thank
guys.
you. Yeah, see you all next time. And as always, it's very fun to showcase players who are still competing in our favorite retro FPS, the old 1993, 1994 game Doom. So thank you to everybody for taking time out of your day. Thank you to Ross. Thank you to the competitors for being fantastic scheduling the games and giving our viewers at home something awesome to watch for their Saturday. Now, if you missed part of this broadcast, that will be up on the YouTube channel.
maybe
That'll be linked here shortly, and we'll play you guys out. Thank you for coming out today, and it has been a pleasure. We'll see you next time for Rampage, which our next broadcast probably will be Rampage recap for week 3, right here, same place. Probably not the same time, probably same place. Keep your eyes out for that. Join the Discord for Rampage Doom servers, and you will get pinged when we go live with that. My co-host Nexus will join me for Rampage recap week 3. And that'll be it. So congratulations again to VoZj, and we'll see you all next time.